My name is Lila, and this is the story of my mother, Calera, and me, a story of struggle, sacrifice, and ultimately, triumph. It's the story of how we rose from the depths of poverty, against all odds, to a place where our dreams became reality. That we lived in a small village on the outskirts of Lahore, Pakistan, where every day felt like a battle to survive. My mother, Calera, was a woman of incredible strength and resilience. She had been through more hardships than anyone should ever have to endure, but she never let me see her falter. She was my rock, my guiding star. As a child, I didn't fully understand the weight of her sacrifices. But now, as I tell this story, I realize just how much she did for me and how much her love shaped the woman I'd become. That I remember mornings in our tiny, run-down home like they were yesterday. My mother would wake up at dawn, often before the sun had risen, to start her day. The house was simple, with cracks running along the walls and the roof leaking every time it rained. Yet, my mother managed to make it feel like a home, a place full of love despite the lack of material wealth. She worked as a maid in several houses, cleaning, cooking, and taking care of other people's homes while ours was barely held together. I could see the exhaustion in her eyes, but she always greeted me with a smile. There was no time to complain, no time to rest. She worked day and night, but always made sure I had food, clothes, and, most importantly, education. "Don't worry about the struggles, Lila," she would say. "Hard work never goes in vain. Keep your head high, and keep learning. One day, things will be better for us." At the time, I didn't fully grasp what she meant. I was just a child, focused on school, wondering why we had to live the way we did while others around us had everything they could wish for, but my mother never let me feel inferior. She never let me believe that poverty defined us. She taught me that we were rich in love, in faith, and in resilience. And above all, she taught me to dream, no matter how far-fetched it seemed. When I turned 21, I received news that would change our lives forever. It was a letter from an American university offering me a scholarship to study business administration abroad. I remember standing in the kitchen, holding that letter in my hands, feeling my heart race. It was the opportunity of a lifetime, but then the reality hit me. How could I leave my mother behind? How would we afford the travel, the living costs? We barely had enough to get by. I sat with my mother, the person who had made so many sacrifices for me, and told her about the scholarship. I could see the mixture of pride and fear in her eyes. "Lila," she said, after a long pause, "this is your chance. Go. Learn. Don't worry about me. I will manage here. You have to do this for us both. You are my dream now." Her words, though filled with encouragement, also broke my heart. I didn't want to leave her behind, but I knew she was right. This was my chance to break the cycle of poverty. So, with her blessings, I packed my bags and left for the United States. Life in the United States wasn't easy, especially not at first. I landed in New York City with little more than my scholarship and a suitcase full of dreams. The city was overwhelming, its pace, its diversity, its endless opportunities and challenges. I found a small apartment to share with other international students, worked part-time as a waitress, and threw myself into my studies. Every night, I would think of my mother, back in that small house in Lahore. I would write to her often, telling her about the things I was learning, the people I was meeting. I knew she was proud of me, but I also knew how hard it was for her to be without me. Every rupee I made, every dollar, went back to her. I wanted to make her life easier, to bring her the comfort she so deserved, but the road was not without its bumps. I often felt homesick, overwhelmed, and isolated. At times, it felt like the world was too big, too foreign for me to navigate. Yet, every time I thought of giving up, I remembered my mother's voice: "Hard work never goes to waste." And so, I pressed on. While I was working hard to build my future, my mother was doing the same back home. I had no idea, at the time, just how much she had changed her life. One day, I received a letter from her that left me speechless. She told me she had started investing in real estate, learning about business, and even buying properties. She had taken a leap, using the little savings she had, to build something for herself and for us. She had partnered with a former employer who recognized her intelligence and drive, and together they were making wise investments. "I know it's not easy, Lila, but I'm doing this for you, for us. When you come back, you'll see how things have changed," she wrote. At first, I didn't fully understand what was happening. My mother, who had never had a formal education, was becoming a businesswoman. She had found a way to rise above her circumstances. Her bravery and determination inspired me to keep going, to push through my own struggles abroad. A year later, after finishing my degree, I returned to Pakistan. I had dreams of starting my own business, but nothing prepared me for what I saw when I walked into our home. The house was no longer a cramped, damp place. My mother had transformed it into something unrecognizable, a spacious, beautiful home with a view of the city. "My God, Ma," I said, almost in disbelief, as I took in the changes. "How did this happen?" She smiled, her tired eyes glowing with pride. "I did it, Lila. I took the risk. And now, we don't have to worry anymore." I learned that my mother had not only built a successful real estate portfolio, but she had also started her own small business. The properties she had invested in were thriving, and she was now managing a growing company. She had done what no one thought was possible. She had taken control of her destiny and changed our lives forever. I didn't waste any time. Together, my mother and I combined our strengths. I used the business skills I had learned abroad, while she brought her local knowledge, wisdom, and business acumen. Together, we built a thriving real estate company. We expanded, invested, and grew. What was once a small, impoverished household was now a symbol of what could be achieved through hard work, sacrifice, and determination. My mother's strength and wisdom were the foundation of everything we built. Now, as I sit with my mother, reflecting on our journey, I see how far we've come. From those humble beginnings in that little house in Lahore to owning multiple properties and businesses across the city, we've done it together. We've lived through the darkest times, but we never gave up on each other. My mother's faith in me, and my faith in her, was the driving force behind it all. "You've always been my inspiration, Ma," I say, holding her hand. "I couldn't have done this without you." She smiles, her eyes soft with love. "And I couldn't have done it without you, Lila. You are my dream. You always have been." As we look out at the city that now represents the fruits of our labor, I realize that this journey was never just about money or success. It was about love, sacrifice, and the unbreakable bond between a mother and her daughter. It was about believing in each other, even when no one else did. Together, we've proven that with love, hard work, and the will to never give up, anything is possible.